Welcome back to Into the Matrix, and now we're starting Ghost's playthrough, and Jova's joining us, why not?
Yep.
Aboosh.
Alright,
to the hard line.
so since we already did the entire Niobe playthrough with nothing cut, what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip anything that, any part of Ghost's playthrough that is just the same thing as Niobe, except with Ghost in place of Niobe. I'm only going to show off gameplay and story stuff that is exclusive to Ghost's campaign.
So if I recall, in this section, Naomi was the one driving the car.
Yes, as Ghosts, we're the ones shooting to make sure she arrives at her destiny before and doesn't put the health meter is there. We have to keep preventing her from running out of health. Don't worry, you have infinite ammo, so we just shoot away.
Pew! You know, considering that recently Warner Bros. Has taken a like into doing more different kinds of video games with its franchise, including some that didn't really need to. I mean, yeah, with Mad Max there was the fact that Fury Road came out, but a game set on its own like that was still a risky project, for example, to do. So I wonder if in time we will be in the mood to try to do stuff with franchises that now are not really profitable in terms of gaming, like this one. Because again, seeing a Matrix game done in this day and age with this technology could probably result in the best Matrix game ever made.
Oh no, Pedro, no.
What?
Don Davis is in his ballistic composing mode, no.
Oh, goody.
What's wrong?
Well, wait,
And by that we mean that the sound is garbage.
Well, isn't this track taken from the movies?
I think so, yeah, but I was just making a joke as well, because to me, this track sounds exactly like Ballistics once.
Yeah.
So let me guess, the difference is that whereas Niobe was driving, Ghost is shooting.
Yeah.
How are the driving mechanics?
They're basic, and they work fine enough, I guess. They could be better, I guess, but it's still fine enough. Alright. Oh my god, those textures look horrible.
Yeah.
This game, I don't even know if I can say if they've aged badly, implying that they had to have been good back then.
Well, back in 2003, this was fine. The problem is that, yeah, again, we're not 2003. Now we're...
Yeah. It's sad to say this, but the truth of the matter is that with the advancement of technology, graphics of the old days didn't age well, for the most part.
You know what's really weird, though? Ironically, PlayStation games kind of... Okay, you see a lot more PlayStation 1 games that have aged well and looks than a lot of the consoles.
There are plenty
Depends.
of PS2 games that have aged well.
Okay.
Chicken
Okay.
Daxter aged
No,
well,
Pedro,
graphically.
I think he was comparing that to the N64.
Oh.
What I mean more so is like, well, you see a lot more cases of aging gracefully sometimes with older gen consoles for some reason. And maybe that's more so about it being the swan song releases.
I don't think it's so much a matter of platform, it's more so whether or not the game made clever choices with its art style. And the problem is that unless you're doing something like what Naughty Dog does with its realistic graphics, in the sense that it's technically realistic, but they still stylize it enough to the point where Uncharted 1 still looks good to this day. Unless you're going to stylize it a bit to make sure it doesn't age, it's always going to turn out like it, which is why Heavy Rain's graphics look kind of terrible.
I don't need to fight the enemies, I'll just run right past them.
Basically,
Run away!
In fact, let me explain. Okay, so, yeah, in the airport chapter, remember, we're supposed to go with Ghost and make sure we cover what's going on. Yeah. So, let's keep going. No, I don't... Well... Fine, I'll save my progress.
So you barely fought anyone there and you still beat that.
Well, I kind of want to get this over with, so I'm not going to fight anybody. I don't have to, honestly, because at this point I'm kind of sick at the game. The game is really boring, honestly.
Yeah, you're just showcasing the differences with Ghost Play.
Yeah, I wish you could do this in Path of Neo.
Well, in Path of Neo you only have one character for the entire game. These fucking camera angles. Also, the characters do not even have shadows. Sometimes, most of the times.
Allow me to remind everybody that this game was directed by the Wachowskis themselves, and so you can tell.
Again, it's canon. It's extra lore you need to know for knowing what Ghost and Naomi were
not just
doing.
that. It's more than that. It literally fills out plot holes that are never explained in the actual movies.
Yeah.
So,
Which, I don't mind it because they specifically announced that it was going to be important at the very least. My problem is that even without that, like the story of this game doesn't actually work on its own. But I mean, for as bad as Matrix Reloaded is, at the very least, its story kind of stands on its own, regardless of its quality. This game, on the other hand, the only way you're gonna be able to truly
is knowing the entire trilogy, pretty much.
Yeah.
what would you say is worse, this story or the story in Revolutions?
Revolutions is worse because at the very least this one tries to actually have some kind of character development here and there.
Wow, yeah, Revolution.
I liked some of the fight scenes, the action scenes in Revolution, I guess, but I don't know. It's a tough one.
What are you gonna say, Jova?
Yeah, it's like, it really goes to show how bad the second movie of Matrix is. Like, well, that movie's so bad that people write off the third film as being as bad as it. And don't get me wrong, the third film is bad, but I wouldn't call it as bad. That much damage. That's pretty much how a lot of people now view the Matrix as.
And to be honest, and to be honest, I know how much people cry. I know how much
main representation.
I gotta say, despite how many times people cry in terror at the mention of a reboot or a remake, I wouldn't mind seeing something like that for The Matrix, to be honest.
Me neither.
I would prefer having a similar concept, because the genre can have different concept and done with a different idea, IP, franchise name instead of just
keep the Wachowskis far away from the director's chair and the script room, then I'll be fine. But then again, it's not that Warner Brothers are going to trust them ever again, are they?
Yeah. Anyway, it's just one of those. Well, if I can give one thing to Revolutions, its climax proved that it is possible to do a DBZ fight in live action if people know what they're doing. That's one thing. That's one thing I'll give it.
So
even with relatively little amount of CGI,
which is sad. I mean, the guys who did one scene better than a film based on an anime went on to make their own shitty film based on an anime.
Speed Racer.
Yeah. I don't care what people say. How is that film a cult classic? Something cult about it.
Speed Racer has a cult.
I hate it, and I hate it not just because of its turbulence, but even as a Speed Racer fan, I just hate it because it completely misses what made the original.
Jova, it's a thing that I realized while watching the Cloud Atlas with Pedro. Cloud Atlas, just by one scene, is a better Speed Racer movie than the Speed Racer movie.
Yeah.
Why? Because in the future chapter, the one with the android girl, there are things that seem to be
what the fuck are those?
The Matrix is glitchy.
Just through the.
There are scenes that looks like straight from the Speed Racer anime.
Yeah, the physics engine in this game is terrible. A lot of times, a lot of weird things happen. Yeah.
Yeah, the guy fell over and he just flung all the way through the glass.
Oh jeez. Monorail. All
right.
Monorail.
Also, the running animation is.
Yeah.
It looks like.
It looks like he needs to go to the bathroom. He's like, please, guys, come on. I need to take a number two.
The only running that looks worse than this is Liam Hemsworth running that Paranoia film.
You'll have to take the other walkway, please.
Yeah. Isn't there, to quote, it's like people say, like, that's movie star running. The problem is that any person who actually knows shit about, jogging and stuff like that will tell you that running with your arms the way Ghost does is incredibly counterproductive because...
I know, right? Like, left, right.
It looks good on camera, I guess, but it's still impractical. Alright, let's keep killing soldiers. Yeah,
excitement.
Fun fact, Jova. You know those fight moves? The fight moves were also directed by the Wachowskis themselves because they wanted to make sure that the fight. Wu Ping, the fight choreographer of the movies, actually also supervised the fight choreography in this game.
Oh, by the way, guys, do you know that
when they're doing all the flying punches and kicks thing, it looks nice. It's just literally every other animation looks so janky.
Did you guys know that they apparently were writers of comics?
The Wachowskis? I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
wouldn't surprise me.
They wrote some obscure stuff like Clive Barker, whatever that is, an Ecto Kid. But they also wrote some of the Matrix comics, Doc Frankenstein, and something called Shaolin Cowboy.
And now, for
didn't write that one,
some
they published
reason,
it.
okay, I've worked in plenty of restaurants, and I've never heard. Okay, maybe it's just one of those things that rich people do in America.
Cool, a revolving restaurant. That's one of those cool, rich and fancy restaurants that's on top of a building.
I actually saw one when I was in Florida.
Is this an America thing?
Yeah, I'm sure it's just.
It is.
I'm,
I mean,
wait,
well, maybe French too, but it's not a thing that you will see, for example, in my country.
Like, in my country, there's nothing like this.
Hey, Glibs, doesn't England have some of these too?
I don't remember any.
I mean, you know, it's a restaurant on top of a building that rotates. It's nice.
Unless the BT Tower suddenly has one.
I fail to see. That sounds incredibly unpractical. How am I supposed to serve the customers if the ground is constantly moving? I mean,
I think you don't feel the movement.
Yeah.
I guess.
Basically, the idea is like,
It's all physics and shit, Pedro.
Yeah. Basically, the idea is like, well, is that the whole building room itself is rotating so that customers can get a nice but changing view outside the windows here and there. You know, it's rotating around and around, but, you know, not at a speed that would make you sick, obviously.
At the speed of sound. With a piano, too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So basically, the goal here is to just keep killing people until the game decides you're good to go.
So basically, you're grounded.
Yeah.
Wait, are you taking the elevator now? Oh,
That's not an elevator.
Also, that small room had the Atari logo. I guess it's an Easter egg.
Remember, Joe, but like, notice how you know those the destination marker just takes me to that glass, and there's literally nothing to it. So that's all I have to do. I just have to keep killing people, or basically, it's a big endurance round, basically.
Just keep killing.
See, the thing is, the Wachowskis.
Such a different movie.
See, the problem is that the Wachowskis wrote a movie-sized script. The problem is that a movie-sized script is still too small for a game to have a full, decent length for full price. So, so the developers had to come up. So the developers had to come up with all these set pieces that are plain pure filler and have nothing to do with anything.
Because this is feeling
up the time.
An hour and a half is just too for a creative mind.
Oh Jesus, the clipping.
Oh god. Also, yeah, this music.
Also, yeah, this music it makes me wanna bomb.
I mean, there are.
It sounds nice, but it's way too short and repetitive.
Wait on the piano for the wall.
Oh, don't you see, Pedro? You had to stand on the piano. Duh.
How did I not realize?
Throughout the franchise, there are some good licensed pieces. It's just that other than that, the best music in the Matrix is from Don Davis.
So don't you see, guys? You just have to stand on the piano and then wait to get on that ladder.
Well, I do like the music. I do like the use of that credits theme that plays during the Matrix Reloaded. Which one it was again?
Oh, what you say?
Just because it's so hilariously out of place.
Oh.
Anyway,
so what was Niobe doing at this point?
She was trying to save that guy that she's friends with. I forgot his name because it doesn't matter because
he dies, doesn't he?
No, he doesn't. We save him.
Surprisingly.
Huh.
We saw it in the Niobe playthrough.
The Wachowskis aren't skip woods. They don't just randomly kill people off screen.
And they don't skip stuff.
Skip.
Alright, let's keep exploring
And draw. Oh, maybe not.
You know what? Never mind. Now I'm
No, Pedro, you got confused with Crash Bandicoot. You don't have to jump on the ropes to progress through the level.
I love how this thing moves so slowly that you can literally turn on a dime in air and just decide not to go for a jump.
Well, that's kind of the point. Whenever they're focusing, they're way faster and can react faster than the actual world around them can. It's kind of the whole point of how the Matrix works in terms of...
Yeah, yeah, but being able to turn on a dime in mid-air, I'm quite sure the Neo could do that.
It's well, whatever. It looks cool, so
Sure.
Looks cute.
Yeah, that is one of the few things that this game does translate well, I guess.
real cool, as they say.
Visuals. That's what they say with the visuals of today's gaming and progress technology. We could have a potentially decent game.
I can see Sucker Punch making a really good Matrix game.
While
Or
Sucker Punch
Platinum Games as well.
aren't Sucker Punch owned by Sony?
Yeah,
True,
yeah. They're one of the very major. Well,
Never mind
well,
then. I guess Platinum
it needs to
Games.
be published by Warner Bros. But then again, the only Western
Maybe
company with
Insomniac.
which Platinum Games has worked was Activision, and we know how that turned out.
Yeah.
3 times, 3 strikes.
How about
Well,
Insomniac?
well, here's the thing.
Still Sony.
Well, here's
Well,
the thing.
No way, hold on. Insomniac aren't owned by Sony. Heck, they did Sunset Overdrive, which is an
True,
Xbox One
true.
deal.
And that horrible game for EA, Fuse.
Well, wasn't the original game much
It was supposed to be,
different
yeah,
from
it was supposed to be not cartoony, but much more comedic in their usual style. But halfway through, EA got like, no, it needs to appeal to Call of Duty masses, make it serious, and it got reworked from the beginning, and the end result is a boring piece of trash.
Gee, it's all
That's
having
it,
a company
Soren's
known
team,
for
yeah.
doing
Sorry.
more comedic stuff was a bad idea. I mean, seriously, Insomniac made a more comedic zombie apocalypse story with Sunset Overdrive. That was fun and entertaining, and yet your idea is to have them do something serious and dull?
So it's so basically they repeated the same mistakes Bethesda made with Rogue Warrior.
I
They
guess.
have a company who does something, do something else.
No. They had a near full game, but Bethesda ordered it to be scrapped and had a different. Well, not entirely, because a different developer came in and they had to redo the game in like a very short amount of time, and the results are. Well, pretty- it's been called one of I think it's on the list for like one of the worst games ever made.
Really? Wait. Rogue Warrior?
Yeah. I mean, at best, it's just a generic FPS. At worst, it's really bad FPS.
I forgot which actor was involved.
Mickey Rourke.
Of all people.
Poor Mickey Rourke.
And you know what was sad?
What?
Rebellion, the studio that developed it, were founded from the ashes of Core Design, who made the early Tomb Raider
That's
games.
That's it, Axel. That's his name.
Got it.
Oh shit, an agent. Also, though, that character model of the agent looks terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the sky looks terrible.
Everything in this game looks
Even
hideous.
as a green jacket instead of a black one.
I think it's supposed to be black, it just looks green because of the lighting.
Just fantastic.
And believe it or not, Joe, the Path of Neo actually looks worse.
Wait, Path of Neo looks
Somehow.
worse, but I've heard that Path of Neo is the better game.
It is? Well, it depends.
No, I played it.
It depends on who you ask, really. I think they're both. I think they're both shit.
I've heard that Path of Neo is like a more... Okay, Path of Neo is like the more fun one to play in regards to how it does its mechanics and whatnot.
Debatable. Anyway, what I'm supposed to do is I'm supposed to stay here as a sniper and cover Soren's escape.
From what I recall, this was actually the game people hated even back in the day when the big. Path of Neo was actually more liked, apparently.
Alright, so now we have to go to the balcony and help Soren.
Can't you feel the excitement?
No, and I'm playing it.
To brighten up your day.
No, especially because as you can see, there's no daylight, so it wouldn't.
Yeah, like seriously, it's the Matrix, not the blackout zone. Heck, what are we in the negative?
It's a negative zone actually. That's a plot twist in reality. This is an.
Let's just see, Jova. This is the Wachowskis
outbreak.
operating on Zack Snyder logic. You have to make everything look darkly lit because that equals dark and gritty.
I
Also,
told
remember,
you this-
it was part of that trend of early 2000 movies, but I will still never understand.
I hate the negative zone.
What's the negative zone?
It's
This game.
I mean,
not just that.
sorry.
Not just that. Basically, the negative zone is well, it's a parallel plane of existence in the Marvel universe, at least the standard one, that was discovered, I think, by the Fantastic Four.
Zero dimension from
Yeah,
Superman.
and
go
during the years, several people, including Shield, decided it was a good idea to use it as a prison. You can imagine the hilarious hijinks that ensue, especially in the original comic book Civil War,
Oh yeah, you know.
or even in.
Despite
no,
choreography.
let's put our friends in the
Jesus
negative
Christ.
zone.
You know, even better, Dweebs, there is a Spider-Man story where he actually frees someone from the negative zone, and in turn, he gets random superpowers by a completely different character.
You know,
Wait,
it's
wasn't that Mr. Negative?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, Teal, funny you should
That's
mention that.
because
Mr.
Dweebs,
Negative is...
that's because Jova. These days, I did record Spider-Man Shattered Dimension, and one of the alternate.
there you go.
costumes
Here's the
is actually
cutscene
that
this
one.
time from Ghost's perspective.
All right.
I need your help. There's a Gulf Stream text.
You know, Mr. Negative seems to be one of the villains who showed up in that Spider-Man demo thing. It's only free.
So yeah, since we're playing as Ghost this time, we actually have to shoot the tires ourselves.
You know, that guy in the helicopter.
Yeah, I get it, Jova. And
Oh, goody, this part. Let's just say this part is bullshit, and I'll explain why in a moment.
Shut the cover off the front tire. Take the tire out.
Indeed. Let's do that then.
That's totally... Wait,
What?
It's okay, we have a sniper rifle, so we can do it.
no, the movement the Jeep made.
I know.
yeah, I don't think so.
It's like they
Okay.
didn't even test the scheme.
Use your
Free-
matrix powers and slow
Get
stuff down.
360 no scope, biatch.
Wait, you didn't hit the wheel.
I did.
You're
It's just
trapped.
that
You
I
have to
skipped the
take out
scene.
that copter.
I skipped the cutscene because we already saw that as in Niobe's playthrough.
Yeah, I remember.
This
that.
agent helicopter. Okay, this one's fine. The problem is that the agent helicopter boss battle can be really bullshit if you don't have a powerful weapon. Try your best to use a sniper rifle as well, because a sniper rifle does a lot of damage. Let's just say if you don't come in prepared, this boss will fucking destroy you.
You're gonna have a bad time.
Did Ghost just fall into an invisible?
This game is
What
such
the-
What
The graphics are collapsing into themselves.
Was there like something with Niobe scene that I missed
Guys,
or something
should we
that
escape,
explains how we
maybe?
got here?
Ah, we're on
Escape the
fire.
Matrix.
Wait, how are they not suffocating or on
Because
fire?
it's the Matrix Dweebs. If they don't believe that the smoke is real, it's not gonna affect them or some shit.
That's never. That's not. But the other movies have made it clear that what happens in your mind, your mind's in the Matrix, and your mind, the mind's of course gonna think fire's real. And they never established that. Oh, you don't think it won't happen. I mean, if that were the case, why don't you just not believe in death?
So there you go. Like we saw in the Niobe playthrough, she's now on the plane and she's going to try her best to save Axel. Meanwhile, Ghost will keep following the plane using that car.
Easier said than done now.
And now we're in. Honestly, the environments in this game looks not. All I can see is gray and.
I think it's one of those river canals.
Also, great
Pedro,
job
I think-
distracting the police guys. Now they're on our tails.
Pedro, I think the graphics team were more focused on recreating the Matrix code.
Yeah. Alright, so basically, this car stage is bullshit because it's incredibly easy to die because there's going to be a lot of obstacles that are terrible. You'll see in a moment. But yeah,
Go find plane.
there you go. See, there you go. For some reason, the plane keeps dropping those things to make as obstacles. Now you probably want.
Even smoke, it's like the plane is literally shitting on us.
Okay. If you think back to the Niobe part of this point, there weren't. Okay, this is not the plane from Uncharted 3. Okay, it's not like every single thing from that plane went kaput. But no, for some reason there's infinite cubes dropping from that plane's asshole. I don't...
Was it something doing with Niobe, maybe?
No.
What? Is she hacking into the Matrix to spawn these cubes, and she's trying to?
Those charming.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. The car physics in this game are horrible to the point where if this happens, if any little ramp you go through, the jumps that the car makes are terrible, and they can completely have you lose control. There was a point that you're not seeing because I cut it out, where the car literally flipped back sideways, and you cannot leave the car, so I have to restart the level all over again.
Pedro, I got it. The reason those cubes are falling down is because Niobe is randomly spawning them using her hacking powers, and she's actually trying to hinder Ghost's progress. Also earlier...
But see, look at that! That cop car came out of nowhere!
Also, I noticed the sky glitched earlier.
The Matrix is good for you.
There have to be so many black cats considering all these glitches.
These car physics, trust me. You guys cannot see it because you have to play it to know what I mean. Like the car when you're actually playing this, it feels terrible. The controls and physics of the car look
terrible. You're not supposed to go through this with a car.
I know, Joe, but the arrow tells me to go through here. So can you really blame me?
Why would you just leave that in a straight down way? Like seriously, that is such a blind side.
It is, isn't it?
Although, Theo, how do you think Pedro would react if he had to drive the Mako?
He would be so fit.
Okay, Pedro.
I literally just, did an entire flip.
Okay,
midair.
For context, Pedro, the Mako, or Mako, whatever it's called, is a futuristic vehicle in the Mass Effect series. Here's the problem. On paper, it's supposed to have a cannon on top of it, and it can glide very slightly for adjust movement.
God, these physics!
The physics of a Mako are 5 times worse than this car.
Yeah, trust me, Pedro. You think you're having a trouble with this one? This is a godsend compared to the Mako.
It was so bad in the first game that it became a fucking meme, and in the second game was completely retooled. And it came back in the third game, but was a very minor in terms of support.
I mean, god dang, the Mako. I mean, okay, that Mako can somehow flip just by trying to go up an incline.
Well, maybe the reason he's gonna beat me in the ass is because this fucking track is full of fucking things that it's kind of hard to, I don't lose that car. Yeah.
Counter blessings, you're probably not the one playing Mass Effect 1. Otherwise, I'd fear for you with the Mako. Because trust me, the Mako would have you begging for this again.
Imagine Pedro if you were to pilot the car in Roger Rabbit, but in a 3D space.
Oh god.
Yeah, it feels like that.
Which Roger Rabbit?
The NES game.
The NES game made by Rare.
Fuck. Alright, let's try this again.
Oh, hey, at
And
least
you got
not
stuck in the pens for a second.
Yeah.
At least that plane's... Actually, where's the plane?
At this point, we're not supposed to follow the plane. At this point, we're supposed to not lose the car because that's where. Jesus Christ!
Oh god, this fucking game.
All right, we're almost done, guys. There we go.
Oh jeez.
Oh, for a second I thought you failed the mission.
Fish on mail.
All right, now let's hear. So here's the ghost part. So here's how Ghost saves Axel from the agent.
Wait, I thought Axel was in the plane.
But yeah, thanks to
No. This is right after what Niobe did in terms of saving him. He fell from parachute. Basically, Joe, you have to play both campaigns to get a full grasp.
I can understand that. I guess the problem is, like, although you think that they would at least show the scene where she frees him.
Wait, was that enough? Was that enough to kill the agent's body? Really?
Apparently. So much for they're almost indestructible for everyone.
Matrix Revolutions.
You're expecting the Wachowskis.
Alright, the rest of that cutscene we already saw it in Niobe's playthrough, so we'll just... Alright everybody, in the next part we finally finished this turd.
See ya.
And then...
See ya.